I probably should undo that. Hello guys, welcome! We're going to be doing a little bit of a test today. So, you know, bear with us because we testing. And we are joined, obviously, in the Discord with Satellite. Say hello.
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 Good morning.
How are you, buddy?
Going well, mate. Going well.
You're going well? Cool. So, basically what the plan is, we're going to be testing this today. We've updated, well, I've updated a few things on the overlay. It is streaming, obviously, to Nonpartisan Media Live, so that is up and running. We are also recording it as well in better quality, so we'll be obviously going through, cutting up those videos and uploading those to Nonpartisan Media. But yeah, guys, enjoy the show. If you have any questions, any queries, anything at all, feel free to hit us up in the comment section below. Hopefully I will see that. I haven't quite added that to the actual overlay yet, but moving along. But yeah, apart from
I'm
that...
not muted, right? They
no,
can hear me.
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. They can hear me. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Apart from that, guys, we're going to go through, we're going to talk about a few different things today. One of the things, obviously, we're going to be talking about this YouTube conspiracy crackdown, mainly because I think it's full of shit, and I want to see what Satellite has to say about it. We're going to talk about Congress demanding probes into CNN's presence at Roger Stone's FBI raid. We're going to talk about CNN hiding images of Roger Stone's 72-year-old wife being dragged out of home barefoot in a nightie. I presume she's also deaf as well, so that would have been interesting. Well, didn't mention that part. A teacher has been charged with allegedly sending student nude photos on Snapchat. Look, I'm just going to say now, I think Gillette needs to make an ad where women just need to be better. The UAE ridiculed for Gender Balance Awards ceremony, which features no women. The DNC Antifa leader has been charged with ethnic intimidation and what most everybody else would call racism, but regardless. And the Dems are trying to strike, so help me God, from the oath taken in front of the House Committee. So that's the stories we're going to talk about today. And apart from that, is there any questions, any stories, or anything you want to talk about, or anything that we haven't covered already? So,
No, I'm good.
No, cool.
I have had my ear to the ground when it comes to YouTube, censoring conspiracy stuff. I've listened to the opinions of quite a bit of the actual conspiracy YouTubers like John X Army, Globebusters, which is the Flat Earther guys, Jaren, from Jarenism. I've been listening to a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I will be able to say some of the opinions that they have as well. That should be good.
Yeah, not a problem. And I presume this is obviously going to go through, this will be the first thing we'll talk about today. I presume this is actually going to affect more people, like, for example, I imagine it's going to affect, like, Secure Team.
Yes, Secure Team has talked about it too, yeah. Yeah,
so I think it was actually, Secure Team was one of the first few people that talk about it, actually. But let's jump into it. Let's jump into exactly what this mainstream media article is trying to pass it off as, and obviously we'll correct the record as we go through. So, the first article today, guys, YouTube to curb recommending conspiracy videos. The video network YouTube respond to critics who have long called the Google company to clean up its recommendation engine and not offer conspiracy videos in suggested plays. When it says respond to critics, that they're talking about mainstream media, right? That's the critics they're talking about?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. It's interesting the fact that they're trying to pass it off as critics when it's literally mainstream media. But regardless, in a blog post on Friday... Dude, there's so much wrong with this article. It's ridiculous. In a blog post on Friday, YouTube said it would begin to reduce incoming borderline content and content that could misinform users in a harmful way, such as videos promoting a phony miracle cure or serious illness, claiming the earth is flat, or making blatant false claims about historical events like 9/11. Okay, there's so much to talk about on this, but we'll keep going for now. We'll go through the article and then we'll talk about it. The most high-profile conspiracy theorist, Alex Jones, was banned in YouTube in 2018, alongside Apple, Stitcher, Facebook, and other over concerns about his content, including videos that questioned whether the killing at Sandy Hook Elementary School in 2012 were real. My understanding was that they actually said they didn't ban Alex Jones because of the conspiracy theory. That was
That's right. That's what, yeah. They said that it had nothing to do with that.
Yeah. So why is mainstream media trying to pass it off as it's to do with the conspiracy theory?
They think. Because they think that people don't remember something from like an hour ago. They'll literally just edit the context as they go, moving the goalpost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fake mainstream media. This is why they're getting flamed so hard by alternative media. But so if YouTube viewers were to search for a news account of an event like Sandy Hook, they could see InfoWars pop up after a string of videos from CBS, ABC, and the like. The YouTube algorithm picks videos based on viewing search histories in an autoplay mode with suggestions of other videos to watch as well. I don't know about you, but I've never had an InfoWars video come up in my recommended feed after watching any other video. My understanding was... my understanding was that InfoWars was never recommended at all. So how are they sitting here saying... Sorry?
Yeah, they weren't allowed to be recommended or featured on the like the popular streams. They would have... Some of their streams, I think, were hitting, well above 10,000 viewers, and it would not come up on the trending list,
Yeah. So more fake news from mainstream media, in other words.
Pretty much.
This whole article is so full of shit right now. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I've already read this article because I read it before I jumped online, and I was like, holy shit, the amount of crap they are trying to spin in this article is ridiculous. It really, really is. And this isn't even the big problem. We'll get to the rest of this in a sec. So it isn't the first time that YouTube has tried to take the conspiracy video problem. In March 2018, it said it would put links to Wikipedia about the events in text boxes around widely accepted events like the 1969 moon landing. So YouTube was responding to public backlash, after the mainstream media decided to write hit piece after hit piece, was trending videos gave a wide platform to clips that were shared false misinformation about breaking national news events like the high school shooting in Parkland, Florida, or in the 2017 mass shooting in Las Vegas. It's interesting because the 2017 mass shooting in Las Vegas, we even have the FBI breaking ranks and starting to confirm some of these conspiracy theories. So it's funny how they go through. They talk about things like, for example, Parkland's Florida shooting and stuff like that. They also talk about these 2017 mass shootings. The Florida Parkland shooting, the most common conspiracy theory around that was that David Hogg was a part of a drama class, which he was, mind you, and that that mainstream media was coaching him to say certain things, which we literally had a video of David Hogg sitting there stuttering, them saying, no, it's all right, say this. That to me is coaching, is it not?
Correct. And more often than not, they usually, you can actually attach those scrolling text things. I forget what they're called. They attach it to the camera so that the news reporter can actually read off a script while live on site.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so look, at the end of the day, if this is your worry, if you're worried about people questioning the narrative, isn't that what people are supposed to do? My understanding is a good and balanced society is literally people going through and questioning the narrative regarding certain things, right? For example, we shouldn't just believe the government when the government turns around and says there's weapons of mass destruction over in Iraq, for example. Or we shouldn't, just believe the mainstream media when they turn around and say this air that you're currently breathing after the 9/11 September 11 attacks is safe to breathe, for example. Or but because now we have a whole bunch of firemen and police who are having health problems because of the air that was supposedly safe to breathe. And and also, for example, mainstream media going on about the Covington High School. Like, to me, this is not about them going on about conspiracy theories. This is about them losing control of the narrative. And this is what I think this is a... Yeah, this is a bigger... This is not a, we got a few people out there claiming the Earth is flat. Oh my God, let's crack down on YouTube. Who really believes these flat earthers, right? Like, really?
So the most recent polling statistics, which has been cited, is 3% of Americans believe it.
Believe the flat Earth,
if you go by the... Yeah, I know it sounds small, 3%.
Yeah.
Although, if you look at the average population, it's actually a few million people.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the US has, 300 million or something like that?
Yeah, and another thing too is apparently it is spreading like wildfire in some South American countries.
Yeah.
In fact, the mainstream media over there is actually having flat earthers on mainstream television shows to talk about it.
See,
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, see, this is where, obviously, like I know I've said this to you in the past before, to me, the government, for example, the people like YouTubers, not going through and challenging this flat Earth conspiracy, people going through and not pushing back on these conspiracies. There's no one currently that I know of that's debunking these flat earthers. Now, look, I don't watch the flat Earth videos. There is a few. Okay.
One big one is Potholer.
Right.
Potholer does it a bit. I have seen 2 or 3 others, but unfortunately, and this is not me supporting flat Earth, but I'm just saying, unfortunately, when these people push back on YouTube against the flat earthers, they get debunked by the flat earthers pretty damn easily because they don't support their arguments correctly or properly scientific.
Yeah.
I wish that more educated, proper scientists would actually do it.
That was going to be my point.
Interested in making YouTube videos, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, that was going to be my point. Is that there's with these flat earthers and stuff like that, there's no one really with a scientific background that's pushing back on these guys. So you literally have the flat earthers running rampant. Yeah. Yeah,
but the thing is too, is the flat earthers are actually organizing really well. Like they have something called the FE Corps.
Yeah.
Corps, like it's got like that, and they're actually doing properly scientific experiments with $20,000 gyros, and big equipment, and they're coming back with like really good data, and there's no one who's pushing back on it from the other side that has that level of expertise. So that's why flat Earth is spreading like it is, and just censoring it is not going to work.
No, it's just going to force them to go to Daily Motion or Pornhub or whatever it may be. Yeah, seriously, you're going to have a whole bunch of flat earthers going to Pornhub. 2 things you're going to be able to find on Pornhub is some girl getting gangbanged and flat earth videos. It's going to be a very interesting... I'm waiting for the initial crossover where you get flat earthers talking about gangbanging some chick. But I was going to say, it's going to be a very interesting time.
You're actually going to have people doing a gangbang while talking about flat Earth.
Or something like that, yeah.
Or you have a flat earther come over and you start playing with the equipment, and next thing you know, they're pulling their clothes off. That'd be bloody hilarious.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting time on Pornhub, to say the least. But look, at the end of the day, but we know why they're doing this. This has nothing to do with conspiracy theories. Do you really think that mainstream media is going to be silenced when it comes to, like, for example, all their conspiracy theories about Russia, these Covington kids, all these conspiracy theories they've been trying to push for the past few years? Do you think they're going to be hidden from YouTube? Of course not.
No. The next generation is going to be the most YouTubing generation ever.
Well, that or someone's going to go through, buy 3 IBM servers and start up his own server if they keep going the way they are.
Yeah, that totally could happen.
Yeah. We don't know anybody in particular.
They watch themselves.
Yeah. He sounds a little bit skeptical there, chat. Let me know what your thoughts are. But like I say, look at the end of the day, the fact is that these videos, they're not going to end up getting rid of them, and silencing people who even believe things like. And I know we're riling on flat earthers a little bit here, and you know, if you're a flat earther, I apologise. I'm sorry you believe in flat earth. But I was going to say, but at the end of the day, the fact is that these guys, they're not going to get debunked, because even mentioning the flat earth is going to be enough to get your YouTube video censored. And let's face it, do you really think they're going to censor flat earthers, or do you think they're going to go after people like, for example, with the France protests? The mainstream media keeps trying to push this narrative that France is no longer protesting, which is really interesting, because over the weekend we had a guy who was literally shot in the head by a rubber bullet, I think it was. Why are the police using such force still if there's no protests going on?
If there was no protest going on, then why is it in reality? It was the biggest, most violent one of them all.
Yeah.
Just this last weekend gone.
Yeah, I actually seen a photo of the protest, and it looked freaking huge. And the mainstream media...
Big, this one.
Yeah, and mainstream media is sitting there literally going on, oh no, there's no such thing as the protest. No, everybody, it's all good, you know, it doesn't exist. And look, that's what they're going to... They're just simply doing this because they want to go after... They want to go after people like me, Tim Pool, Luke Wadowski, We Are Change. These guys who buck against the establishment media. That's all it is. This has nothing to do with flat Earth. This has more to do with them going through and literally silencing people, pushing out a different or pushing out facts as to what the mainstream media is trying to push out. But
and there is some weird stuff that goes on with live streaming too.
Yeah,
and we know exactly how that feels.
Yeah,
but when one huge guy like Secure Team did 2 live streams, I think a week and a half ago, he was having strange connectivity issues for no reason every now and then.
Yeah, well, I've been sort of monitoring the connection to Nonpartisan Media Live while we've been doing this, and there have been times where my connection just seems to drop out. Now, that is probably my connection, and, you know, I can't wait for NBN to get here. But at the end of the day, it's like, even like, for example, when I'm on like radio, then I'm like getting interviewed in radio stuff, and I'll have my phone randomly disconnect when I start going on about, you know, the deep state or
a certain topic.
Yeah, it's weird. You start pushing against the establishment media, even here in Australia, and all of a sudden, you know, your mobile phone cuts out, and it's not the studio, because I can hear the studio saying like, oh, is he there? Like, where is he gone? Or they're sort of, if it's them doing it, they're acting really, really good, because they seem to be confused just as much as I am, even more so probably, as to what's actually happening.
Well, there's more to it too, and you know, Australia says it's just metadata, right?
Yeah.
I'm starting to get skeptical about that, because there's 3 actually. This has happened with 3 different people that I've talked to regularly. You start talking about a specific topic that's a bit, you know, spicy, and the connection will die. Yeah. And then I have to ring them back, or they ring me back. And I wonder if that means that, oh, okay, now they're listening in. They just had to tap in, you know?
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised, man. I really wouldn't be surprised. But apart from that, you were saying about the flat earthers. What's the general theory of the flat earthers these days? What are their thoughts on this whole conspiracy video being cracked down?
They're taking it the same way we are. That they're going in for censorship, to kill the recommendations. And the other thing too, this was a unique perspective, which I understand where they're coming from. But they're saying that, you know, when they mention flat Earth, that flat Earth is the big one. Yeah. If they censor flat Earth, because when flat Earth goes into its conspiracies around it, it covers a broad range of conspiracies. Yeah. Not just saying that the Earth is flat, but it also encompasses lots of different things, like the moon landing, all of the things to do with space travel, satellites, all these things. So they believe that it's the mother lode to get rid of flat Earth, because it causes and it also causes critical thinking
Yeah.
in of itself. And that even if you end up not believing flat Earth after watching a lot of flat Earth videos, you still just open your mind and started your brain has started to be more critical thinking, or opening your mind to other things like 5G. And the other thing is that recently, I mean, okay, we figured out that I was wrong. It wasn't recent, but there is a guy like Max Egan who has been recently, yes, he has been doing a fair bit of 5G coverage. There's another channel as well that's pretty popular, and she's a nice looking girl, mind you, who has done an interview with a TSA worker during the government shutdown, that apparently she says there's been 28 deaths since they installed millimeter wave scanners. So, all this stuff is coming out at a more rapid pace, and I can see the establishment getting pretty freaking pissed off about that.
Yeah, but that's what it seems to be more. It's more about shutting down people who are breaking the mold. Like, for example, like I say, like, for example, we were sold this whole, weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Never happened. We were sold that the air from the New York trade towers was safe to breathe. Never happened.
Yeah.
It was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
We were told that, like, for example, that the Covington kids were a bunch of racists who went through and victimized this poor African American, which, surprise, surprise, never happened. It does.
No one in the mainstream media is even mentioning the existence of the black Israelites.
No. Yeah. Which
arguably
I was going to say were the racist ones.
They were attacking both the American Indians and the Covington kids at the beginning.
Yeah, you think that would be something that would be worthwhile? That would be something that mainstream media might want to know about. That you're literally going on about people being racist. Here is a case of people actually being racist, and they don't seem to give two shits, which is really weird. It's like they just want to victimize the white kids.
Yes, exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. They had to go after the white kids because white man bad.
Or because they were wearing the hat, one or the other. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Red hat bad.
Yeah. Trump's bad, So, it could be, who knows.
And they wonder why we call them NPCs.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. We should probably get on to the next topic because otherwise we're going to end up having a 4-hour live stream. But yeah, at the end of the day, guys, I really do believe that this is more about censorship. This is more about shutting down critical thinking, like saying. It's more about shutting down alternative media, just because of the fact that we're more believable. People will tend to believe us more than the NPCs or the mainstream media, and they're getting their asses kicked. They're worried about this populist.
Simply because we have proof.
Exactly. Yeah, we use facts and we use logic and we go where that is. Well, most of us do, Young Turks, for example. But I was going to say, but anyway, let's jump into the next thing. So Congressman Demands Probe into CNN presence at Roger Stone's FBI raid. So Representative Andy Biggs, who is a Arizona Republican, on Friday sent a letter to the Department of Justice asking for an investigation into whether the details of the political operative Roger Stone's indictment were leaked to the media ahead of his dramatic pre-dawn arrest. CNN cameras were staked outside Stone's Fort Lauderdale, Florida home, where over a dozen heavily armed FBI agents arrested him shortly after 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. According to CNN crime and justice producer David Shortell, the network set up a crew outside the home after noticing unusual grand jury activity and in connection to a special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe the day prior. However, Biggs, a member of the Freedom Caucus and ally of the president, isn't buying CNN's assertion. And it basically just goes into the details of Roger Stone. Now
That's
the one
Joe Biggs, right?
Andy Biggs, maybe related to Joe. I don't know. But here's the thing that I don't think they necessarily talk about in this article. The CNN reporter who was actually outside Roger Stone's house used to work for the FBI, was actually knew Robert Mueller, and was a former FBI agent.
Oh. Well then.
Yeah, so I'm sure that there was no, passing of information between the two. Or,
No, I'm sure that he doesn't know anybody where he used to work.
No, of course not. Like, because like when you leave work, you just you get a memory wipe, right? You forget everybody. Yeah.
Haven't you watched Men in Black?
Exactly. Yeah. You get that little flashy in your eyes, and all of a sudden you forget everybody. Yeah. I can't remember all the places I've worked at, But look, all but being seriousness for a moment, do I really think that this guy was given the information? Hell yeah. I think at the end of the day, someone from the FBI, mightn't have necessarily been Robert Mueller, could have been anybody, but yeah, I think someone went through and literally said, hey, might want to go and check out Roger Stone's house, set up a camera crew, might be a good time opportunity. Look, is it possible that he went through and that he used his gut instinct? Sure, but we know that CNN's not really good when it comes to gut instincts. The Covington sort of exposes all that, so I find it very hard that they can't seem to find a videotape that's an hour and 45 minutes disputing their narrative, but all of a sudden they can get this gut instinct to go and check out Roger Stone's house.
And I'll just mention that if it was competency that he got a gut instinct to go there, is it impossible that someone from Fox News or any of the other big news coverage outlets didn't also get a gut instinct?
Yeah, why was it only CNN that went and checked this out?
Yeah, exactly.
And if Roger Stone was so dangerous, for example, why is it they had to have so many FBI agents to turn up to his house, which is a, quote, show of force for a 66-year-old man, and then literally have CNN there recording? If he's so dangerous that they need all these guys to turn up to arrest him, right? Why is CNN in the zone where they can record it?
Very good questions.
But a bit of an update on this, and we'll talk about the third thing. CNN has apparently allegedly hid images and video of Roger Stone's 72-year-old wife being dragged out of the home barefoot and in a nightie, or what they call a nightgown. Now, my understanding is that she's deaf, right? So on Friday,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I think he actually said in an interview that she's deaf. On Friday, the Mueller special counsel sent 20 to 29 armed FBI operatives in 6 vehicles and a CNN camera crew, which is alleged, to film the arrest of Trump associate Roger Stone at his house in a pre-dawn raid. Now, Roger Stone was arrested barefoot and in his shorts outside his apartment. On Monday, Roger Stone told Judge Nitopoli in a Fox Nation interview that his 72-year-old wife was also forced to stand outside barefoot and in her nightgown. For some strange reason, this was not aired on CNN, who had a camera crew at Stone's home during the arrest. The Gateway pundit wrote CNN for comment, "It would be completely irresponsible if they hid this from the American public." Oh, I presume they hid it because it goes against the narrative, and it also looks bad too. But anyway,
that's bad optics.
Yeah. Update. The Gateway pundit wrote to several CNN executives for comment on this report and why they decided to hide this from the American public. As of writing this, we have not heard back from any of our requests. Imagine my shock. We spoke with Roger Stone's associates who told us that Roger's wife was brought out into the yard in her nightgown and barefoot during the raid. This is police state tactics. And you can imagine if Hillary Clinton had this happen to her, CNN would be losing their mind right now.
Yeah, and she would also be probably just trashing them.
Yeah. Like, it's the middle of winter over in the US right now, right? Because it's sweating hot here. So, in a pre-dawn raid, which is the coldest time of the day, Roger Stone has been dragged out of his house at 6 o'clock in the morning by 20 to 29 police officers and a camera crew from CNN to stand outside in nothing more than shorts. His wife has also been dragged out of the house and forced to stand outside in a nightgown, and she's also deaf, mind you. Now, she's 72 and he's 66. This seems to be like it's extremely overforce.
And if there's snow on the ground, it
Well,
can
it's
damage
Florida.
your feet, especially for an old lady, which already have circulation problems in their feet usually.
Yeah. Like, it's Florida, so I don't know if they get snow there, but I imagine it'd still be bloody cold, wouldn't it? But, yeah, I don't know. Look, do I reckon CNN was tipped off? Sure. I reckon they should go through and they should investigate. Find out whether CNN was actually tipped off about this, because they've literally been claiming that they weren't. And if it proves out that they once again have lied about this, like... Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's jump into the next...
I would say that there are lies, and we may find out soon. It seems like a strange time right now where truths are coming out.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, actually.
Well, until the new conspiracy theory rules come in on YouTube, which is going back to the first story, and all of a sudden we cannot talk about them anymore.
Well, anyway, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how all these stories seem to be very linked, isn't it? But anyway, teacher charged after allegedly sending student nude photos on Snapchat. My question is, where is this student when I was at school? Because, holy goddamn, she is young and she is hot. Well, hot-ish. I don't know if you've seen the...
It's still predatory.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't make a joke of it, but... Yeah. Yeah. So let's jump into this.
What I want to know is this a hashtag FOT audit? Is she charging for this?
So why is...
Snapchat,
Yep, sorry.
Making a joke.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just wondering why the stream had not been updated yet. That's right. So let's jump into the article. Teachers charged after allegedly sending student nude photos on Snapchat. A teacher has been charged with felony luring minors by computer or other means after she allegedly sent a student nude pictures on Snapchat. So, Cassie Schmidt, 22, is said to have sent the pictures to a 17-year-old student in her math class at Bellevue High School, North Dakota, USA. Police say that the teacher sent 3 or 4 naked pictures to the student, one of which was naked from the waist up. Another allegedly showed her bare legs with the message, "Get a group and play naked hide and seek." Wow, okay. Get a group? Really? Officers were being interviewing the students following the reports that the teacher had been sending nude pictures on Snapchat. According to affidavit, the student told the detective that he could get the math teacher in trouble for pictures that she had sent him. Smith was arrested on the 23rd of January and allegedly admitted to sending the photos, according to Dixon Press. The Plover Public High School District Superintendent Travis Jordan said the teacher had been placed on administrative leave while the school district conducted its own investigation. He added that the Smith was her first year teaching at the school, but refused to comment on whether any other student were involved while their investigation is still ongoing. According to the Dixon Press, Tom Dixon, Smith's attorney, said that this is a very unfortunate situation for everyone, but certainly is a very serious allegation and we're treating it very seriously. Schmidt appears in South Central District Court on Tuesday, where her bond was set at 10% of $10,000, which is like $1,000? Really? I'm presuming we're going to hear from the feminist about, equality on that matter. because, guys get a $1,000 bond all the time. Her preliminary hearing has been scheduled for the 27th of February. In December, a teacher in Florida was sentenced to 3 years in prison for having sex with a 14-year-old student, sending him naked pictures of herself. A 27-year-old Stephanie Persons entered a guilty plea in October to one felony count of lewd or lascivious sex act with a child, another felony charge of transmission of harmful material to minors by electronic means. And it keeps going on about other cases. All right, so what is your thoughts on this?
Well, interestingly, I heard, I was listening to a stream, and don't quote me on this, I think it was Destiny's latest stream with this guy. And basically, they were talking that they were going to be talking about conservatism in general.
Yeah.
But his guest was mentioning that he was like, "What's the go with the huge amount of chicks, wanting to have sex with their students, and saying that there's been a big uptick in this over the last year or two.
Yeah.
This just keeps coming out. There's just another and another every month or two." He was like, "What's the go with this?" And he was wanting to point to some kind of mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not sure if it's mental health. I'm not sure what it is. But I would say that I don't know if it's because the news cycle is more prevalent these days, but there is a lot more of it happening. I don't know. It could be the students going after the teachers a lot more, and the teachers can't help themselves. I don't even know if that's what's going on. I'm not really sure what it is, but there is something going on, and something needs to be looked at here.
Well, is it just
normal?
Well, is it the fact that it's just going on more now, or is it the fact that, for example, we just hear about it and it's not being covered up? There have been very, very large amount of reports where 10 years ago that female teachers, were doing this, and the police tried to cover it up. There have been several high-profile cases where the police knew about what was going on, where even female teachers were caught with male students in cars, and the cars are rocking, don't bother knocking, and they've literally gone up. They've caught them in the car together, and they've told her to go home, don't do it again, and they sort of covered it all up. So my question is whether it's just the fact that now it's just not being glassed over by the police department, or is it more prevalent? My argument would be it's just not being covered up as much.
It could be a little bit of both, or it could just be what you're saying. I mean, as far as like the boys chasing the teachers, well, yeah, I mean, I was in school, I saw it all the time.
Yeah.
The boys drooling over the hot teachers, and I think that there's just a prevalence now. Maybe these young women are actually less capable of resisting.
Maybe.
And there could be many reasons for that. Maybe the teachers are struggling in their own private lives to get boyfriends, which is kind of true these days with the whole, where all the good guys gone and all this sort of stuff, and a lot of men, MGTOW and all this stuff. So maybe they're struggling to get dates, and then they just can't help themselves when they finally see someone giving them attention. And they are going to get attention in the school if they're pretty, and they're just less capable of resisting because their own private lives are in shambles. That could just have something to do with it too.
Like there's a photo on the screen for the people that are watching at home, and look, she's definitely, she's not an ugly duckling, right? She has some very nice personalities, right? I'll just say that for YouTube. But like I say, she's definitely, you play hide the salami with her, right? If you're not a student. I do find it interesting that the kid that she was going after was a 17-year-old. She is 22. Look, obviously she's still a teacher, so there is obviously that authority sort of situation. But, my question is that obviously she likes the 17-year-old kids, or which is he's technically a male. He's technically almost an adult. Like, I don't know what the legal age over in those sort of places are, but there's not a real big age gap here. Does that change it?
Age of consent, and if the age of consent is over 16 in that area, then legally nothing was done wrong. But as far as the school board would be concerned, it's fireable.
Yeah. Well, they did say that she was charged with sending lewd to a minor, which...
yeah. And that's the grey area, because the age of consent could be over 16, but there's still a problem with under the legal age issue with that. It's a complicated set of laws. I wouldn't even try to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, for example, you can date someone in Australia who is 16 to 18, but if you send a dick pic to someone that's under 18, that's... Yeah. Like...
It's stupid. It is stupid.
It is absolutely insane. But anyway. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, obviously, look, what she did is wrong. I'm not trying to justify it or anything like that. She's a teacher. You know, darling, get on Tinder, okay? But you know, at the end of the day, yeah, I do think this is not a case of the fact that it's so much, it's more prevalent. My argument is it's not more covered up. But yeah,
the pressure would be there to stop the cover-ups, especially these days. There's a lot of that whole, men's rights activist movements, and these things aren't getting covered up anymore. Yeah.
Anyway, let's jump into the next story, because otherwise we're going to be going for a few hours. The UAE ridiculed for Gender Balance Award ceremony, which features no women. They're probably having to hide out the back. The government of the United Arab Emirates has been mocked for posting pictures of winners of an award for gender balance, which featured no women. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Dubai's ruler was shown congratulating the recipients of the Best Personality Supporting Gender Balance, Best Federal Authority Supporting Gender Balance, and the Best Gender Balance Initiative. The Lieutenant General Sheikh the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Interior, was recognized as the Best Personality Supporting Gender Balance for his efforts to implement maternity leave in the UAE's military. 2 other senior male officers received the rest. Eyebrows were raised after the photos of the event were posted on Dubai's media office Twitter account. Awesome initiative. How do you guys define gender balance index? Obviously, one gender is missing. Asking for a friend. Tweeted one account. Daniel Tariq. Daniel Tariga, whose husband Matthew Hedge was recently released from prison in the UAE after being sentenced to life in prison for spying, tweeted, "The reason why neither Matt or I have ever represented a reputable risk to the UAE is because the UAE represents a reputable risk to itself. Once again, actions speak louder than words." Sheikh Mohammed was quote saying, "We are proud of the successes of the Emirates women, and their role is central to shaping the future of the country. Gender balance has become a pillar in our government institution." But apparently they can't turn up to get a photo taken. Twitter account later released some pictures of the winners posing for pictures with a handful of women who they let out of the kitchen, although it does not appear that they were themselves representatives of any awards. A statement by the official Dubai media office, meanwhile, cited Sheikh bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al President of the UAE Gender Balance Council, as saying it had achieved a goal in 2015 to reduce the gender gap across all sectors of government. Okay. but apparently they can't turn up for a photo. Really? But last month, the country was ranked 121 out of 149 countries overall in the World Economic Forum 2018 Global Gender Gap Report, and the 134th in the terms of economic participation and opportunity. So, should we tweet this article to Linda Sarsour and people like Anita Sarkeesian? Do you reckon they'll talk about it?
I find it hilarious that it's being talked about at all, considering the country.
Well, it is
but
the
none
Telegraph.
Of this surprises me, considering the country.
Well, it is being covered by the Telegraph in the UK, so you know.
Yeah, but you know, it doesn't surprise me that it was all men who got the awards. It's the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, we're not really surprised, are we?
No, it's their level of progressiveness is far lower. Right? I don't know why this surprises anybody.
Yeah, no offense, but the UAE makes the alt-right look like a bunch of chivalrous guys. Like these guys,
yeah.
Like if people think the alt-right are bad when it comes to woman get in the kitchen and make me a sandwich, as an example, mainstream media, then yeah, you want to go to the UAE and you want to go and look how the women are treated over there. This is literally countries where women can be stoned because they were raped by other guys. You know, this is victim blaming 101. But I find it really, really weird that the progressive left doesn't say anything about this. I wonder why.
Well, it does seem to be coming in a little bit more. I mean, the woman's
well,
is
like
a
I said,
example of
yeah. Well, okay.
Out.
Yeah, but let's face it. This is the Daily Telegraph, right? This is a right-wing paper over in the UK talking about it. Like,
yeah, true.
I haven't heard CNN or MSNBC or Linda Sarsour or anybody or you know, Anita Sarkeesian talking about this. So, you know, like if the example is a right-wing media wanting to talk about this, and it's like, hey, it's progress. It's like, well, I would say no. This is just the right, literally taking shots at the left, really. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. I went on to Clementine Ford's Facebook, and you know, brought up, hey, you know, there was a current big issue going on about women's rights.
Yep.
I think it was over in Saudi Arabia, and you know, I told them about it, linked it, the article, and I was banned.
she banned you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I got banned. Yeah, I linked the article and everything, translated from Arabic to English, and you know, put it all there, and said, you know, go fight for. They need fighting for help. You know, yeah. I just got banned. No reply, nothing, just banned.
Well,
I was like, holy shit.
I went through, and I used to send the links of these articles, for example, to Anita Sarkeesian, just as, you know, as a bit of trolling and stuff like that.
Trolling, yeah.
Yeah. How do you spell Sarkeesian? I just want to double check. I'm pretty sure she blocked me.
SARK.
Yep.
ESIN.
Anita Sarkeesian. I cannot find her name.
Actually, it was IAN. Yeah. So, and it's SARK as SARK.
Yep.
ESIAN.
Okay, so even that's not actually coming up. So I don't know if she's blocked me or what, or if she's deleted a Twitter account or what. But like, I used to go through and send these links to Anita Sarkeesian, and not once did she ever retweet it. Not once did she ever respond with like, "Hey, thanks," you know, or anything like that. And she never talked about these articles or anything. Like,
I figured out why you couldn't find her. It's actually double E. SARKEESIAN.
So SARKEE.
It should come up.
No, I think she's blocked me, like, completely.
Yeah, I've got it. What did you want to see? Is there anything specific?
Has she talked about this?
Well, let me have a quick look here. I'm looking at tweets and replies.
Yeah.
No, she's talking about some holiday season grab thing, about a book, a feminist book. No.
She's not talking about that. I am absolutely shocked.
Yeah, she retweeted a University of Alberta students thing. No, and then I look over the last day or two, and no, nothing.
Alright, so I have found her. She hasn't blocked me yet. So, tweet to Ethe Sarkeesian. A little bit of trolling going on live, guys. Tweeting the link for you.
She wrote. She retweeted some guy called Hari Kondabulo. And it says, "Fuck ice, read this."
So, at Ethe Sarkeesian, thought you might like this article for a story on your show. Shows. I need to put women in there. What do you reckon? For your show, women.
Are you gonna write it as woman?
Yeah, women. Yeah, women in UAE still need our help. Fight the patriarch.
Yeah, they put something like that, and maybe hashtag resist or something like that too.
The patriarch. Sorry guys if you're like listening to this and you're not interested in what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah, for those only listening, yeah, we're just doing some live trolling.
Yeah, and hashtag.
But it could end up good. Maybe she sees this, actually gets infuriated, and actually goes after the United Arab Emirates on this. You never know. This could be a good thing.
Hashtag respect women.
Goodness.
Alright. And yeah,
for the record, we both respect women.
Yes, and for the record, I'm not encouraging anybody to go and troll Ethe Sarkeesian or to retweet my tweet that will be up on my timeline at a later date. So please don't go and find that tweet under my tweets and replies and click reply or retweet, for example, or like. We don't want to, go through and disrespect women. But let's jump into the next article. So DC Antifa leader charged with ethnic imitation. DC Antifa leader charged with ethnic intimidation regarding to attack on Marines. Isn't that racism? Isn't that another word for racism?
Could be, yeah.
So why didn't they just charge him with racism?
Good question. No idea.
Anyway, let's keep going. So Washington DC Antifa leader Joseph Alfoff, whatever his name is, also known as Chep or Cuck in many circles, was arrested and charged with multiple felonies in Philadelphia on January 10 in connection with the Antifa mob attack against 2 Marines in November. I'm surprised I didn't see CNN talking about this, I thought them being the anti-racists that they are, I would have thought they would have jumped in on this. Yeah. Olaf faces 17 charges, including multiple... Yeah, exactly. 17 charges, including multiple accounts of aggravated assault, ethnic intimidation, conspiracy, and terrorist threats threats, and 1 count of robbery while inflicting serious bodily injury. Whew. And An affidavit filed in the case reveals that the Daily Caller News Foundation reporting on Alef's connection into violent Antifa groups was an integral factor leading to his arrest. So, the Marines and Joseph Godnias and Luis Torres testified in December that a group of 10 to 12 Antifa members called them Nazis and white supremacists and attacked them on the streets despite their denial that they had no association with the right-wing group demonstrating nearby. During the attack, Godnias said he shouted, "I'm Mexican," to the mob, which allegedly led the attackers to call him a... holy shit, I can't even say that word. I don't even think I can say that word, actually. So a slang word for a Mexican, which starts with S and ends in C, and another term for someone that starts with W and ends in K. Thomas Karen and Thomas Mercy were arrested in November in connection to the beating. Kerrigan, who's...
I'm not sure what those words are yet. Could you tell me what they are?
No, not really. Smart. But Thomas Keane and Thomas Marcy were arrested in November in connection to the beating. Kerrigan, who has been called a leader of the Antifa conduit, in the Philadelphia area, was arrested and charged with riding alongside Alef in New Jersey in 2011. So, he's pillar of society sort of thing. Thomas Keane and Thomas Massey were arrested in November. Thomas notified detectives in Philadelphia that Alef was a member of the group that attacked him, and after reading the DCNF's reporting detailing Alef's connection to Keegan, Philadelphia Magazine reported, citing an affidavit filed in Alef's case. Whoa, holy shit. So Alef made significant efforts to separate his true identity from his fanatical personas. Shep and Joseph Martin, the DCM reported on December. When speaking as Chep and through his Twitter handle, Sabo Kitty, Alef has called for the killing of rich and encourages using violence to bring, quote, a world without capitalism, without private property, that is a socialist and communist. Alef pled no guilty to the charges and is currently out on $15,000 bail. His lawyer did not immediately return for a comment. So he's a communist. Big surprise.
Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah. Okay, so what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, just another Antifa going mental.
Yeah, definitely seems that way,
we
doesn't
just
it?
had one get shot in the head by cops because he took a gun into a school. These people don't surprise me anymore.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I didn't even cover that because it was just too much views on that day. So yeah, I just sent that tweet to Anita Sarkeesian. So look, at the end of the day, I would say, look, this is just a case of someone on the far left just going far left and falling off the deep end. And
it's actually kind of interesting to see after about these Antifa guys, they've been at it for a few years now, right?
Yeah.
Now, several years surrounded in their little bubble, with their, reinforcing all these things between them, and they do seem to be losing the culture war to some degree, and they're probably starting to just lose the plot. And now you're probably going to start to see the after a few years of this, the psychosis starts to set in. We will probably see more and more of this.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing that I have to say is that this is more like the case of the monster that is, it's been taken down, so to speak. and they are starting to thrash around and yeah, just basically causing problems just because of the fact that they know they're losing. They've got nothing else to lose. It's literally the case of they are the most dangerous right now because they have nothing to lose.
Yeah. And the right wing guys or the moderate centrists are basically just sitting back and going, we're getting there. And they have no reason to start losing the plot, where these leftists, they feel like all their progress and all their fighting isn't getting anywhere.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, who would want communism? Like, they must realize that this is a extremely unpopular opinion. Like, do people actually believe that people want communism? Like,
a lot of people want socialism,
but that's different than communism. Yeah.
It is different. Yeah. The two are different. They are, it's only a small step across the aisle to get to communism from socialism, but
true.
You can have capitalist socialist society, which I actually think is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah,
it can work, and it does work in many cases, and it is a good setup. I'm sure you'll disagree on a few points there, but other than that, no one wants communism.
No. And look at
no one wants anarchy either.
I'm just testing something. Yeah, I was going to say, look, at the end of the day, obviously, the thing is that, look, yeah, in Australia, we have a socialism. We have a social systems and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, yes, it is a great thing. But you've also got to remember is that we pay for that in taxes. You know, what people go through and claim, is free healthcare. It isn't actually free healthcare because we've paid for it. So, yeah, it's like, well, yeah, like you pay now and save later, I suppose. So, like you look at, like, for example, in the US, they have a much lower tax rate, for example, when it comes to like sales taxes and stuff. Like if you ever want to go to the US and buy computer parts and stuff, it's a lot better. It's really good when it comes to like buying computer stuff because it's cheaper. But that's because you pay.
Again, they did just put those import taxes on it.
True. But that's because of Trump and
that import tax.
Yeah, that's
and it did raise prices a bit, but it's not as bad as here yet.
Yeah. Like what's our tax? Like we have like normal taxes that we pay is around 35%, and then we've got GST on top of that, which is around 10%. So technically, we are paying around, anywhere from 35 to 45% in tax.
And in Australia, our channel is different. In America, the companies are selling directly to the stores, where here, everything is going into distributors, which put their 5% on top as well. So we pay a higher tax plus an extra between 3 to 5% for the profit for the distributors as well. It's a chaos here. It's awful.
Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, look, at the end of the day, I would say, look, if this guy wants communism so bad, why doesn't he go to a communist country and live? Why is it all these Antifa thugs that are going through and that are trying to, bring in communism, why do they always try and do it in a capitalist society?
Because they want communism in America, damn it. Don't you get it, Nonpartisan? They want it in the States.
Yeah, see, this is where I have a bit of a problem because, I know, I'm so uneducated about this. They need to educate me more. But what I was going to say was, but at the end of the day, if you think communism is so great, well, there are still a few countries that are communist. Why don't you go there? Why are you insisting on going through and, changing a capitalist country? But
Because they have to defeat capitalism.
yeah, well,
It's the root of all evil, didn't you know? Man,
Yeah.
you and I have to sit down and have to chat about this, mate.
yeah, I need more education on this. If someone like, Hassan Piker from the Young Turks wants to come through and educate me more on my ways of evil capitalism, I promise I won't tear him to shreds. But yeah. But anyway, let's jump into the last article and probably wrap this up. So probably about an hour and a half. Dems to strike, so help me God, from the oath taken in front of the key House committee. So the key House committee in the Democrat-controlled House of Representatives is moving to eliminate the words "so help you God" from the oath administered to witness testifying before the panel. Oh my God, the Democrats having a problem with God and religion. Who would have thought? As a part of the new rules package expected to be approved this week, according to a draft obtained exclusively by Fox News, the draft shows the House Committee on Natural Resources would ask witnesses to recite only, "Do you solemnly swear to affirm under the penalty of law that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?" The rules proposed place... Yeah, I know. The rule
said solemnly swear instead of solemnly.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to do about three things here at once.
They get sodomized before
Yeah.
they go on the.
Well, hey, we probably have less people lying. But the rules proposed as the word "so help you God" in rep brackets indicate that they slated it to be cut. Other rules changed relate to expanding the committee's authority over natural gas in Alaska and fossil fuel resources. While many federal oaths include the phrase "so help me God," some, most notably the president oath in office, do not. I wonder why it's not on the president one. It might have something to do with the previous president. The full committee is set to write the new language this week, and the rules would take effect immediately if adopted. Other committees would still be in the process of finalising their rules on Monday. Republican leaders reacted with dismay to the proposed change and suggested it was a sign of Democratic Party's left-wing shift. You think? It is incredible but not surprising that Democrats would try and remove God from the committee procedure. In one of their first acts of the majority, the House Republicans Conference Chair, Lizzie Rupu-Wu, told Fox News they really are becoming the party of Karl Marx. Spokesman for the Natural Resource Committee did not immediately reply to Fox News' request for comment. The committee, which has oversight of natural parks, wildlife, and energy, is chaired by the Democrat Arizona Representative Raul Gaviria or whatever. The proposed rule change was not the first time Democrats have sought to strike references to God in official party documents. In 2012, the floor of the Democratic National Convention erupted over a sudden move to restore the phrase and reference to God in recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. After heavy criticism of the Republicans from initially omitting them, Democrats thought they were harder in agreement over the reversal. The large and loud group of delegates shouted "no" as the convenient chairman and the Los Angeles mayor Antonio Vandegaras called for the vote. Algaras had called for 3 times before the ruled, and the ayes had it. Many the crowd booed after he determined the language be restored. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was funny how they were calling the Democrats the party of Karl Marx. That's hilarious.
Well, it's not that far from the truth, though, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'd have a phrase, but I won't use it. And then, I mean, but on the other side of the aisle, I have a problem with Trump being supportive of moving the embassy to the capital over in Israel. That's something that we shouldn't discuss too much. But yeah, it's a bad thing, I think. So both sides of the aisles are problem to some degree.
But okay, so with
removing.
well,
yeah.
okay, but okay, so
Removing-
let's talk about this moving the thing. So sorry, someone's in chat and I'm just spamming a whole bunch of testings. But yeah, so what I was going to say, hi to Leah from Mississippi, hello. But what I was going to say was, as for Trump and them going through and changing the Israel and moving the Israel, to me that is funny.
The capital,
Yeah, I find that funny because it's pissing off the whole bunch of Muslims.
It's funny because of that, yes.
Yeah.
But there's a thing. This thing that starts with the word Z and ends with N. I mean, it's part of the prophecy of Greater Israel. It is all part of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, apparently during some wars there and tangles that occur in that area, some of the rabbis, used to actually run outside when a missile was flying over, and they pray that it would hit the stone on top of the mosque, which is sitting there at the moment on the they call it the I think it's the platform. It's that platform. It's a very specific location.
Yeah,
it's very holy.
That Mecca, wasn't it?
And yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So we probably should do a video about this one day. But what I was going to say was, okay. So how do you say this without getting a copyright strike? Who would you much rather side with?
My God, yeah, I know. Because I don't really like both sides, but yes, it's funny to see them squirming at the moment, moving it. I pick on either side. Can I do that?
I don't know if that's a viable option.
No, it isn't, is it? I guess it would be better, I guess, that, move the capital. But I don't know what that means exactly at the end of the day. I haven't read the Talmud. I haven't read certain texts. I don't know what the significance is entirely. So
look, at the end of the day, look,
I'll have to refer to authority.
Yeah, I was going to say we're sort of skating around the options here and trying not to get a copyright strike. But what I was going to say was, look, at the end of the day, I would say Dome of the Rock. Lee just said in chat. So that's apparently what it's called.
It,
yeah. So what I was going to say was, so at the end of the day, look, if I had a choice between annoying a whole bunch of Muslims or annoying a whole bunch of Jewish people, I would take the people that aren't going to... I would choose to annoy the people that are going to cut my head off. I would much rather side with the other side that is not going to kill me for not believing in the same thing. You know what I mean?
I agree with you on that one. If you put it that way, because I've actually spoken to you before, and I agree with you that I'd rather go with the people that are more into having you work a 9 to 5 and pay a lot of interest than having my life ended entirely.
Yeah, if you're a slave, at least you can go through and you can fight the system. Well, if you're dead, you really can't do shit. So, at the end of the day, I would
worm food at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to say, so at the end of the day, look, I would say, and we probably should get off this topic before YouTube flags this video down, but what I was going to say was, look, at the end of the day, the fact is that, I would say Trump moving that to Israel, to Jerusalem, is he sort of making allegiances? Sure. But those allegiances I can sort of get behind a little bit more than some other people, because I'm like, well, it's not ideal, it's not the best solution, but at least it's I would much rather him side with them than the other people, sort of thing, I suppose. Yeah, but anyway. And
the rest of my take, which is more on topic to the article you just read.
Yeah, we probably should get back on topic.
I have actually noticed that a large number of the more popular atheists on YouTube, as well as those who are more in the public eye, have actually been kind of going along this route of anti-theist. They're not just atheists, but they're going to absurd levels to get rid of Christianity, to the point where now they're going into minutia, like, let's get rid of the way that you swear on the Bible before court, or all these things. It's getting ridiculous. And when the conservatives say that there's a war on Christianity, it's entirely true. You can't say that there isn't when they're behaving in this way now.
Yeah,
and they've got the backing of a lot of these YouTube skeptics, or I like to call some of them the septics of YouTube at this point. I think it's ridiculous. That's my opinion there.
There definitely is a war against Christianity. And look, at the end of the day, I'm not Christian myself, okay? But the fact is that I do think that Christianity has a very important part to play in society when it comes to morals on some other people. You get people who are not afraid of a big bad God sending them to hell, for example, for being evil, or for raping or murdering or killing or whatever. If there is no sort of consequences to your actions when you're alive, then the question is well, why are we behaving ourselves? If I'm not going to get to paradise,
the answer, well, exactly, and the answer to that is our society is great because it's based on the Enlightenment values, which came right out of Europe and Christianity. Yeah, and that's why, for example, there are people who say the West is the best, and I agree with that, and I like to live in that kind of society. So, and that I'm not Christian, and yet I can completely appreciate those values and live by them, and want other people to live by those values too, because I treat people well. I want to be treated well.
Yeah, and as I say, at the end of the day, there is definitely something there for these morals and stuff like that. It definitely does allow you to go through and to have a decent society. You got to start removing all this sort of stuff from society, and all of a sudden, what's to stop people from going through and raping, murdering, or anything like that? Not everybody has this moral core, it's really kind of weird that all of a sudden, we're getting rid of God and everything like that, and we seem to be having a more and more of a problem when it comes to certain people in society. So,
and I have seen two major big debates between high-profile people like Jordan Peterson versus God, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Sam Harris.
Sam Harris. Yeah. And so Sam Harris puts forward that we can have all these morals without the religion, and there's some truth to that. But then, and this is why the debate was so amazing. And just basically putting out that, well, but these values have to come from somewhere. Yeah. And there is proof in history that people need to fill that God-shaped hole to have moral thoughts or certain things. And I guess it was interesting because to say that people are too stupid to have morals without God is probably mean. But there's some truth to it.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, look, I don't want to go vilifying a whole bunch of people. Look, at the end of the day, but the fact is that there are people out there who are less likely to have ethics if there is no threat, no big bad threat to. And obviously look at the end of the day when it comes to religion and stuff like that, I can be swayed. If you find me proof, or if we're going to have a debate or whatever it may be. I'm not saying that God doesn't exist. I'm just simply saying that there is also a part of society where God is a very important thing because it allows society to behave itself. But yeah,
there are, and I know that these are single example fallacies, I suppose, but I can point to quite a lot of really bad criminals who have been completely rehabilitated with religion.
Yeah, exactly. Criminals that gone in that have raped, murdered, or whatever it may be, and all of a sudden they found God and they're completely different people.
Yeah, and I mean, they're completely different.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't recognize them through their personality. And it's genuine. It's a genuine thing that has happened to a lot of people in prison.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we probably should wrap this up because I'd have to go to the doctor soon and get my...
Yeah, we'll wrap it up soon.
Yeah, but guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on any of these stories that we have covered tonight? Do you think that there is an important part when it comes to God? Do you think at the end of the day, the Antifa leader, do you think he should be have the book thrown at him? With the UAE, do you think this is a bit of a joke? What's your thought on the teachers who have been charged for allegedly sending nude photos on Snapchat? What are your thoughts on the Roger Stone thing? And what about YouTube and they're cracking down on conspiracy theorist videos? Obviously, guys, this video will also be uploaded to Nonpartisan Media. If you are on Nonpartisan Media and you already haven't subscribed to, obviously, Nonpartisan Media Live, please feel free to, because so far we've been going without many major problems. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Once again, thanks Satellite for jumping in today. It was fun. I enjoy these little chats.
And don't forget to smack that like button.
Yeah, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe to either or both those channels. And also don't forget to share, because I doubt YouTube is going to share this video. But apart from that, guys, I will see you in our next Demands video tomorrow, where we're probably going to be doing the same sort of thing. Have a great day and enjoy, guys.